Welcome back to the series, which is a React CRUD series. CRUD stands for Create, Read, Update, and Delete. And we are doing this CRUD with Headless CMS. And in this case, our CMS will be WordPress, which is this guy right here. At this point, I refactored the code, removed all these extra bells and whistles. We don't need them. In the last video, we went over how we made this Masonry layout possible. At that point, we had our blog index using the card layout, but this time we merged them together. Now our blog index is using Masonry layout, and the cards are coming from the React Bootstrap 5. In this video, we're going to go over the code of this page, and additionally, we're going to show how we can create this single page components. So as soon as you click on them, they appear with their own text. That being said, let's get started. All right, so we are back at the code. By now, you should be familiar with this page. This is just a home page component, and we're using simple layout components, and most importantly, we're bringing in the blog index, right? So this time I went ahead and refactored the blog index. As you know, last time this was using the card layout. I mean, this time we're still using card, but the layout has changed. I went ahead and merged that Masonry layout into this one. Most important part for that are these three guys. I'm using React Masonry CSS library and getting this Masonry component out, and animate.css for basic animation. Also added this blog index CSS. As you have seen before, this is bringing in all the necessary classes and my own adjustment to the Bootstrap column class, right? That being said, you should be quite familiar with all these other imports here, especially this guy right here, WP-API. As usual, we're instantiating the WP object, and these are our constants. And this is the object that making the Masonry layout responsive, and you have full control over how you're going to customize it. In my case, I'm giving it the default 4-column, and which means anything larger than 1500 will have 4 columns, and then 1500 pixels is going to have 3, 1100 is going to have 2, and 700 is going to have 1. And it's completely up to you how you're going to set this up according to your own content. Then comes the fetch function. It's using the WP-API to collect the page number 1 data from the backend WordPress, the Headless WordPress, collecting the total pages from here, right here. And then once the data arrives, we're setting it up, uploading all the data to this variable. And then this is our load more function. And right here, all the way to the bottom, is our load more component, which we discussed in our last video. And this is our loading spinner, depends on is pending variable, which is right here. And the rest are just, these are the helper constants for the load more pagination. And right here, we're checking for posts and then looping through the post to show all the contents, the featured image, the title, and excerpt. And all of them we are parsing the HTML using this library right here, HTML React Parser. Now, one additional thing we added in here is this link item, which we are getting from this React Router DOM. And in here, we have a new route created, single post, which will take a post ID. So let's go check quickly what in fact, we don't need this, how our new route looking like right here. In our app.js, we have a new route, single dash post, and it's going to have a parameter attached to it. And we have our single post page as a component. Now let's go see what our single post page is looking like. This one starts out with usual, the page, content, row, etc. But most important thing, this one loading is this guy. Use param from the React Router DOM, which will help us collect the parameter that we send out, the ID parameter. Let's quickly look here. See, post.id is our ID parameter, and the route would be /single-post/id, right? So right here we're collecting that ID from the route, and in here we're calling our component blog single and sending that ID as a prop, and the prop is called post ID. Now let's go see what our blog single look like. It should be under component blog single. Let's go component blog single. There you go. And as usual, WP-API and the parser, etc. are being loaded. And in here, as usual, we are instantiating the WP object. Please understand we're repeating it, every time, but these are all going to be gone very soon. We're going to, refactor the hell out of it. We're going to have an HTTP service. We're going to have a config service, and everything will look just wonderful. But at this point, I'm just showing you the basics and slowly and gradually moving towards the finished product. That's why you keep seeing me bringing up this every time. This WP pretty much showing up in all pages, right? It's not going to happen very soon. All right, and as usual, we have this time instead of posts, you can see we have a new constant called post, because we're going to be loading a single post, and our is pending is the very known one, which helps our loading spinner. And inside the use effect, now we are calling a new function called fetch single post, which is an async function. And this one has a try catch in there. And inside that, we're using our WP object dot post. And this time we are giving it a specific ID. And with this ID is coming as a prop. As we have seen before, this prop is coming from the single post page right here, which we collected using the use param from React Router DOM. So with that ID, we're doing a .get, collecting that single post data and setting it up with set post, filling up this variable, and afterwards we are actually invoking that function inside this use effect. Only reason we have to do it this way because use effect functions can never be async, right? So we have to wrap everything with use effect so that it runs once, and then inside it we use this async function, which is going to collect the data, and then we actually run it to invoke it, get the data. Depending on is pending, we show our loading spinner, and then check on that post variable. If it has data, then we just go ahead and parse that. Here you can see post.id, post.title.rendered, and once again we're parsing that HTML with parse, which is this library right here, HTML React parser, and that's giving us our nice little content, and the rest is just Bootstrap CSS. I'm using nothing but Bootstrap. So this code will look like this. There you go. And in here, this tiny animation, if you look at the featured image, right here, this image, we are using that animate.css class, using this first one, animate_animated, and then animate_zoom in. If you just go to their website, they're all listed there, so that's not a problem. So this, and we also add a back button here so that we can go back, which is right here, and it's simply going to the home page, right? So let's go to the home page. Here's our data, and we have a nice little single page, and that should be all for this video. On the next video, we will cover creating a blog post. If you like this video, please smash the like button, and please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please smash the like button and the subscribe button. This will help me bring more free contents like this to you every week. Thanks again.